if you please sit right here. Bay İsrail panelimizin moderatörü olacak. Hemen panelistlerimizi davet etmek istiyorum. Sayın Leyla Öner, TURA Tourism Holding Başkan ve CEO'su. Hoş geldiniz efendim. Joost Ouendag, Viking Ürün Geliştirme Başkan Yardımcısı. Tolga Tuncay, Galataport İstanbul Liman Direktörü. Hoş geldiniz ve Spyros Almpertis, Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection, liman ve varış noktası operasyondan sorumlu başkan yardımcısı. You to follow the 35 minutes count, if it's possible, because there's going to be more keynote speakers and panels. Thank you very much, and have a nice panel. Thank you.
You heard enough of me, and here we have an amazing group of 4 people that together represents 100 years of experience in this cruise industry. So let them tell us all about it. So I'd like to ask you, Joost, first of all, to tell us a couple of words about yourself. And I would like really to ask you to focus on this extraordinary journey that your company, Viking, has started, created this extraordinary positioning in the market. Not only that you have many ocean liners, but you also are the world's largest river cruise company in the world. So tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company and its vision.
Okay. I started in tourism a long time ago. And I joined Viking 23 years ago. And that is part of, my story is kind of part of how Viking has been very successful. It's a relatively small group of people that carries out a vision that our founder has. Torsten Hagen is still very much involved in every detail of the day-to-day operation. And the people that he works with have been with him for such a long time that they kind of have internalized his vision. His vision is kind of what's made the company what it is today. And an enormous part of that has always been, we don't try to be everything to everyone. We're not trying to attract, we're not a children's cruise line. We don't have casinos. We don't have water slides. Other cruise lines do, and they do a great job. We don't. So I think that's a fairly important part of the Viking DNA. As for myself, I started when we only had river ships. And I'll leave you with this very quickly. When I first joined, I noticed that Tor was a man who had great visions. And at one point, he said, when he was asked, what do your growth plans look like? We had 12 river ships at the time. And they ranged from about 40 years old to 4 years old. So it was a very strange fleet of ships. We had some that had 60 people. We had some that had 140 people. And he was asked, so what do you see your future to be like? And he said, we'll have 100 ships. And there were people in the room that were very polite, but they could almost not suppress their laughing. They thought it was a crazy idea. A few months ago, we just named our 100th ship, and we're now at 107. And so that's kind of how, by going at it, moving along with this vision, year in, year out, that's how we got where we are today.
Thank you. Spyros, you represent the extraordinary company of Ritz-Carlton Yachts, which is the first entry of the hotel industry into the cruise industry on a super ultra, what we call ultra luxury brand. Can you tell us a little bit about, a couple of words about yourself, and how did Ritz-Carlton decide, and what's going on? Tell us a little bit. We want to learn.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank the TIF for the invitation. We are really proud to be here. My name determines that I am from the next country, neighbor of you, so I am Greek, and definitely both countries working for the same direction, the tourism, the shipping, which they are both strong. Now, regarding myself, I am almost 35 years in the cruise industry, starting from very low position. I used to wash plate on cruise ships, climb to the F&B hotel positions, then to finance positions, certain positions deck and engine. And now, the last 15 years, actually 16 years, I am in the corporation on luxury business. So I have a little of experience what meaning luxury. Regarding Ritz-Carlton now is the first brand. 5 years ago, actually, the hotel chains, because we are under Marriott International Group, decided to bring that the new chain, VIP Ultra Luxury, which come under the brand of Ritz-Carlton. So it's very, really not weird, but happy to be in the Four Seasons Hotel, presenting the Ritz-Carlton yacht collection, which soon they will have also the brand, which called Four Seasons. And the idea behind is to bring something new to the cruise industry / yachting, not to follow really the cruise industry, but to have something new for our VIP guests. And definitely, it's not really the ultra luxury, how really we determine that, is that it's not how big it is, the ship, or how beautiful it is. We always need to make the guest forget that they are going for cruises. And definitely the success to have that is first to determine the access of the destinations, then to make the guests forget they are in cruises, then to use the yacht, focus on private yachting, and definitely regarding crew, which is very important. On Ritz-Carlton, we have the mode, ladies and gentlemen, serve the ladies and gentlemen, so our crew serve the guest in a same level. So that is really how we terminate the luxury, ultra luxury brand on our side.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Spyros. Well, now we arrived in Turkey, so we can start with our two members from Turkey. Tolga, good to have you here. If you tell us a little bit about yourself, and mainly you've opened Galataport as the country and the world emerged out of COVID, and with a very difficult moment in time to arrive to an extraordinary year of 25 that was great success for your port, and so looks 26. Tell us how it all happened, your opening and reaching that point of great success for your port.
Is it working? Thank you very much. This is Tolga from Galataport İstanbul. I've been working as the port director. I've been in the...
Wait.
It's not working. Is it?
It's okay.
Test. Ben de kalsın mı?
No. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tolga from Galataport. I'm the port director of Galataport, and I've been in the cruise industry for more than 20 years. Started as a port agent, and now working in Galataport. Actually, I was the first one. Actually, I'm the first ones that are enrolled in Galataport since the takeover in 2014. So, one of the oldest members of the industry right now. And regarding to your question, Giora, the COVID period actually hit Galataport in terms of cruising at the worst possible time. We were almost finished our terminal construction, and we were expecting our first cruise ship after 4 years on April 5th, 2020, and then COVID hits us, and the journey was delayed for another a year and a half, and after the COVID period, we received our first ship in October 1st, 2021. This is our COVID era. Post-COVID period, I believe Galataport has 2 internal and 2 external factors behind the success. External factors are Istanbul's global appeal is increasing thanks to all promotion agencies, Turkish Airlines, all airlines, and all carriers. And the second one is there's a pent-up demand for Istanbul in terms of cruising because the last cruise ship we received was in 2016, so there's a 5-year gap in between cruise calls. Those are the external factors, and internal factors are, I believe, our passenger-centric approach in terms of management, in terms of operational flow. We always try to strive the best in operational flow, making real-time adjustments, continuous improvements, and I think that's what we achieved so far. And we are always aware that every cruise call we receive on that year is the product of the success and the efforts that were achieved 2 years ago. And the second internal factor, I believe, is the long, direct, and uninterrupted communication with all of our stakeholders. And our stakeholders are not just cruise lines, port agents, or ground handlers. Being a cruise port, being a border gate, puts you in a position that you have to be in direct contact with at least 8 ministries. In Turkey, we have 17 ministries, and with 8 of them, we are in direct communication, as well as their sub-units and NGOs and some other sectoral organizations, institutions. I think if you combine those 4, that brings the Galataport success.
Leyla.
Hi, Giora.
Hi, Leyla. So, Leyla, you have emerged, the country has emerged from COVID and from a slowdown beforehand. And what happened in the last several years is nothing short of, not a miracle, because you worked hard to get there, but in your key role to promote Turkey to the global cruise industry, tell us, how did it happen that suddenly cruise tourism is doing so well to your country, and what was your role in that?
Thank you, Giora. Actually, for us, the pandemic started in 2016. So for the world, it's 2 years, but for Turkey and for tourism in Turkey, it's about 7.5 years. But the recovery after 21, end of 21, was not only a rebound of the demand, it was more structural. And there are 2 main reasons why. The first reason is the existence of Galataport, which was new, totally new, something that everybody was excited about. And we were so proud to be part of this legendary port project. And the second one was Istanbul Airport, which was also new, and which was a huge factor in providing global connectivity. So these 2 major infrastructural investments changed the whole equation. But for cruise lines, we all know that this is not enough. So infrastructure was not enough. I think what really made the difference is that Turkey was very fast to align with the public and private and with all, like Tolga mentioned, all the NGOs. We gathered our forces and we delivered our destination in a very good maneuvering way, because all of our competitors, I'm not saying competitors, but our other destinations, they were struggling with deficiency of transportation, good quality of guides, lack of restaurants, lack of facilities, whereas in Turkey, we were saying to the cruise lines, yes, we can do that, yes, we can do that, yes, we can do that. So the operational readiness and the accessibility of allotments was a huge factor for cruise lines to come back, and we still kept the prices as is. We did not overprice them, so I think we gained their confidence in this manner.
You did well. You did well.
Thank you.
Joost, and just for everybody to know, Viking is also a very successful publicly traded company. I'm not recommending one stock or the other, but Viking was very successful. If you would have invested in Viking, you would have done very well just in the last 18 months. Just let's talk about Turkey and Viking for a minute. How do you envision Viking deployment in Turkey? You have considered extending the season. Can you tell us a little bit about strategy?
Turkey is perfect for a Viking. I haven't spoken a lot. I've told you a little bit about what we're not. What we are is very destination focused. We aim for a very specific American clientele, mid-60s to mid-80s, people that are interested, people that have a little bit of an education, that want to explore the world and want to see things and experience things. Culture, history is very big with us. So Turkey is perfect for this. Maybe not so much the beach resorts, because that's not what we do, but certainly the cities, the great historic sites, the food is incredibly important. I think in general what our industry needs to do, and this goes for Turkey, but it goes for other destinations as well, it was said this morning, we need to extend the season. In general, I think we as an industry, we might not always have done ourselves a favor by always promoting blue skies and white puffy clouds. Everyone knows that that's not how the weather works. I'm from the Netherlands. It rains every day in July, and people are okay with this. I believe that we're selling our audience short by saying, oh, we can't go here or we can't go there in winter because it's cold. People live in cold climates. We have a lot of people that live in the northern US where it's much colder than it ever gets in much of Turkey. So people will travel and can travel in January, in February, in December. And I think this is a big, this is what we as an organization, that was your question, what we need to do is make sure that we have enough room for our ships. And part of that is just to spread it. In general, that's kind of, and I think this is what Turkey as a destination is facing too. Long lines at the Blue Mosque, no lines at the Süleymaniye Mosque. I don't understand. They're both magnificent buildings. Spreading is going to be key in everything that we do, because if you look at the growth numbers, we can't have all of these people in the same destination at the same time. So that'd be my short answer.
Very good. Okay. Spyros, we want to come back to this remarkable story of a hotel company coming into the cruise industry. And because the cruise industry had luxury brands like Seabourn or Silver Sea or a few others, but what really differentiates, you believe, this segment of ultra-luxury hotel company, and especially the Ritz Carlton, what makes it so special and different from the other luxury companies?
Actually, I used to work for Silver Sea 15 years, then in Crystal, and definitely they are high-value luxury brand. What really is different with Ritz Carlton, we are operating the last 5 years. The philosophy is different, complete, doesn't really follow the cruise business, but the hospitality business, and that is the key. In Ritz Carlton, as example, we don't sell itineraries, we just sell lifestyle at sea. We definitely analyze how we access to destinations and not how many destinations we will have in the itineraries. The third key, actually, is also how flexible we are with itineraries. We are really we have very big flexibility in 7 days voyage and based on the plan itinerary to find alternative destinations based on guest comments and adjust on spot the voyage. So that is really the real key. In addition to low density which we have on board, meaning versus how big is the ship. Our ships, we are operating 3 ships now, Evrima, Luminara, and Ilma, around the world actually. 2 are in Caribbean, 1 is in Asia. And the ships are approximately 230 meters, and we give the opportunity to have low guest count. We give to the guest big space, we give privacy, we give also one-to-one service, so that is the key for our brand versus luxury, Silver Sea, Seabourn, and all the really respected well brands.
Thank you. We are in Istanbul, so I'm sure most of you are from Turkey, I guess. So you probably know a little bit about Galata. But for those who are not from Turkey and those who have not visited this one-of-a-kind-in-the-world terminal, Tolga, can you tell us a little bit about this most extraordinary terminal that is all underground and how it came about and how it operates? Because you have to see it one day. It's really a miracle. Is the mic working for Tolga?
They don't like it.
I believe they are doing it on
Okay,
purpose.
no.
You will finish with 4 microphones there in your hands.
Actually,
There you go.
with pleasure, Giora. The magic of Galataport is actually its vision. That is to bring Istanbul's most iconic, uninterrupted and longest waterfront back to the public use after 200 years while maintaining its original centuries-long mission, the Port of Istanbul.
Wow.
And if you combine this vision with, strong leadership and extensive experience in project management, cruise operations, finance and marketing, and they're all here on the front row right now, that's how you build Galataport. And the magic is actually pure simple. We placed 176 panels, that what we call hatches, all along the pier, so that the pier and promenade can coexist. And a few hours prior to ship's arrival, our teams open up the relevant hatches and securing the area and creating the ISPS and customs zone. And the rest is still public accessible. And when the ship docks, passengers set foot on the pier, which was actually a promenade, and then take the closest ramp, which we have 5 underneath, actually hidden underneath those hatches. Take the closest ramp, and depending on the ship's position, and then go to the world's first underground cruise terminal on the mezzanine floor where they can complete their immigration and customs procedures on minus 3.5 meters below sea level. And once they're complete, they go 1 floor down to the transportation floor where they can claim their luggage or take their transportations, buses for shore excursions, taxis and private vehicles for their transfers. That's the magic. So in short, all passenger, luggage and provisions flow run under the ground. And with this innovation, actually gave us the opportunity to create 2 large squares and on the existing premises that were not there before the handover. And then we also had the opportunity to restore a 175-year-old flag tower, which was hidden in the parking lot.
Amazing. Thank you.
And actually, I think it would be unfair not to mention that those innovations, the underground cruise terminal operating method and the hatches, panels, are protected by 2 internationally valid patents.
Yeah. It's the only one in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Leyla, you're a tour operator that recently celebrated 60 years of operation, 60 years also in the cruise industry. You're operating in all Turkish ports, and you have connection and business relationship with cruise companies all around the world. So tell me, how do you operate in promoting Turkey as a destination when you work with all these cruise lines?
Thank you, Giora. Actually, I'm not 60, by the way, so only the company is 60 years old. I'm the second generation. I'm a proud second generation along with my brother. And I think as TURA, what makes us very special is we are considered as the guardians of standards. Because each cruise line, like 2 of them we have here, they are different and they have a different philosophy. They have a different operational matrix. They have a different guest promise. Mm-hmm. So the guest promise that they have is our promise too. So we are just an extension of the cruise line that comes to Turkey, to any port in Turkey. But we have to be a Ritz-Carlton promise one day, we have to be a Royal Caribbean promise one day, and we have to sometimes be Viking promise. So their promises are different. So we need to change and evolve according to what they promise to their guests. So this is the key of being a tour operator and continuing the brand. So we need to be the extension of the brand. And apart from that, as you know, the cruise industry is always a futuristic industry. So at this month, we're working with both of the cruise lines or other cruise lines 2030. So we are always ahead. So we need to be proactive with our stakeholders like ports and also the public side about what's going to happen in 2030, in May 20 in Istanbul, if there's a festival or if there's a marathon or if there's maybe an act which we already know. So we need to be very forecasted, so we need to be aligned with that, their set of mind. Another, and I think the most important part, is that we love our country. We are very proud of our country. So our love transforms into information because we also know the destinations from top to toe. We absorb the destination. So once you absorb the destination, it's not very hard to customize it to the cruise line as per what they need. I think it's our love for the country that is the essence of our, storytelling.
Yes. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Joost, with decades of experience in the cruise industry in the US, in your native Holland, in Switzerland, your global understanding of the cruise industry and your experience in that, what kind of advice can you provide the government of Turkey, the people who engage in tourism promotion of Turkey? You are such a wealth of knowledge and experience. How can we make Turkey great and better? It's great already, but how can we make it even greater?
Yes, I'm not going to tell you anything because I think Turkey has its business in order. I think the only thing that I would advise is look at how other countries are doing things, not so much to learn how to do them better for Turkey, but to see what goes wrong sometimes. Public and private partnerships are absolutely crucial. You see this in ports around the world where the public sector says, okay, we're done now we have too many visitors, they all stay in the same place, it's a mess, we want them out, we work for our constituents, go away. Doesn't work. We see this in Amsterdam right now, where cruise ships are forced out of the city. That basically means they will dock somewhere else and bring all of these people in on coaches. So you simply create another problem. And these are situations that I think you can avoid by having everyone around the table. It seems that this is done well in Turkey. What I said earlier, the spreading of what where you take your guests is crucial for all of us. The only other thing I would say, but I don't know, I might step on toes, don't use influencers. Do your own, because you create these peaks in interest all of a sudden. I see this a lot in Amsterdam, where you have an influencer who goes to one particular shop, has 500,000 followers. All these people are now going to one shop, and you kind of create this unique experience that isn't unique at all. That we tell ourselves it's so special, so precious, and this is what a lot of people today are kind of, if you will, conditioned to, travel becomes this list of things that you need to do, and then you move on, and you don't really spend any time, you just move from one highlight to another, and they're not really highlights, they're artificial highlights. Turkey is an incredibly authentic country. You don't need to go to big monuments, you don't need to see anything on Instagram. You can just go here, meet people. I would like to see a lot more Turkish people in your advertising, because the people are your biggest strength. They really are. And then you simply, let people experience what it is like to be here, to calm down, not to stand in long lines, to have a nice dinner somewhere. Spend time here. And don't have people run around with little checklists of things that they must do. They must come here and spend time. And I think if that's the message that you can convey, and this is a partnership, everyone needs to be on board with this idea, then, then you're going to be able, not just be able to grow, but also process this growth in a manner that avoids the troubles that you see in other places in the world.
Thank you. Spyros, thank you. Very good. Well spoken. As somebody who is from a neighboring country,
Yeah, exactly.
knows the Middle East,
Which I love Turkey in general.
Yeah.
For me, it's a unique destination.
Yeah.
It's because of the people, not because of the infrastructure. They are really well known for the warm hospitality. And definitely, they have the best history which many countries around the world can have. So that three is a key. However, I believe Turkey needs to be in a better position and structure on the mega ships. As example, we are running Ritz Carlton. It's coming Carnival cruises at the same port. One running privacy, one allow the guest all out. Then is where the problems start, and that is where the port needs to help us. So, either they need to identify where the mega ships will go, and the boutique, so they need to invest on that, because that may destroy the destination. Because, as example, we had an issue in one port, I don't remember, where our guests mix with mega yacht guests. Immediately our guests react negative for the destination, which it was not a problem of destination, because for us every stop is not just the port. We are partner with guest experience and the destination. So I believe we need more structure, or where the mega ships or boutique ships needs to call. They need to invest more on gastronomy, history, and culture, because they have a really huge to invest on that areas. And definitely, they need to invest in the port people, not only infrastructure. Despite AI infrastructure-based terminals, ports, the people make the difference always, and that will continue to do that. That's it from me.
Thank you. You know the question that is coming to you now, because he opened the door. So can we tell us, how can Istanbul grow from one side to take more big ships, and how can Istanbul be a very special home for these fine companies like the Ritz-Carlton and Viking at the same time? Tell us.
Sorry, don't forget another 4 brands coming. Four Seasons, Orient Express, and Amanat, high ultra luxury brands.
It's coming.
Actually, Galataport is designed to comfortably accommodate all kinds of ships, including the largest ones in the global pipeline. And with all our pier side and quay side equipments, all lifts, all fenders and bollards, technically, we don't foresee any problems. Any extensions to Galataport in terms of pier extension, it's not possible because of the physical constraints we have. We are along the Bosphorus, and we have physical constraints, and we cannot make any extensions. So what we can do to make it more capacity utilized is we are now trying to increase the ratio of home porting in Istanbul, which we recorded 135% increase from 2024 to 2025. It's going to be the same levels in 2026. And the second thing we can do is we are now trying to spread the seasonality across 4 seasons. Because Istanbul is lack of winter operations. And I believe MSC had a good start in last year, 2024. Winter operations went pretty successful for MSC, and I believe it's going to open a new path for Istanbul's seasonality, and actually it helps all Turkish ports as well. In terms of luxury cruise ships, now we are actually trying to deliver the best passenger experience possible and learning and getting experience from cruise lines and how we can do it better. And now we have some targeted new investments regarding those luxury, ultra-luxury cruise ships.
And the last question comes to you, Leyla. And it comes back to one thing that went through all these conversations. What can be done in order to stretch the season? How can we get ships year-round here? And your father was a leader with his thoughts. So close us up with some words of wisdom on that.
Thank you. And thank you for this reminder of the 2011, which was great to have the Sea Trade Winter Forum here. I think when we're talking about extending the season, we have a few questions to ask. Do we have enough airlift? Do we have enough infrastructure at the port? Do we have a mild climate? Do we have enough deep shore excursion facilities? And do we have the logistics to provide them? I think all of our Turkish ports match all the boxes. So we're ready. We're ready for winter cruise seasons. And as Joost mentioned, I think sun is not the only denominator in selecting your cruise time. So I was recently in Miami in January and it was snowing, so everything can happen, you know. So I think no one is now bound by only the sun and the beautiful non-cloudy atmosphere, but sometimes being in Istanbul under the rain is much more precious than an August heat where you're really humid and you really regret to be in Istanbul in August. So I think appreciation of the climate is something we need to go and set it up as a marketing tool along with the other tools that we need, and we have. I think we have. Turkey is ready for winter cruising in all aspects.
Thank you very much, members of the panel. Please, let's say thank you to this amazing panel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing timing. Thank you very much. Evet, buyurunuz efendim.
Yes, please. Next panel. Let's continue right away with our speakers.
Moderator and panelists, thank you for coming. Thank you for your participation. And let's mark this day with a great picture.